What is an embarrassing story that you've had with a candidate? Obviously, we
Candidate.
can't dive into
With
specifics
the,
with
with
the
the
candidate, like a candidate experience. I've had a couple, but I know you definitely probably have had
Oh no,
some crazy
I have a
ones.
horrible one. I haven't done it in a while. I think it was like early on now. Who was showing this video to?
This is going on YouTube, but it's not. I don't want you going into
All
specifics. I don't want
right,
because I
all
know we can't
right.
do that.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what team it was, when it happened, or what
What
department,
company? What?
but
Nothing. This is
I
just a
yeah,
general.
yeah. So I called somebody. I was making like mad calls that day,
Okay.
right? I was throwing out offers. I was checking up with candidates. I was doing the most.
Okay.
Like I was being a recruiter that day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You're a full
So
cycle recruiter
on
that
it,
day.
on it. And then so I called someone that was going to be an hourly position,
Okay.
and I called someone that was going to be in a salary position, right?
Okay.
And I think I called both of them within like the span of 5 minutes, right? And then I had to call one back because I needed to like verify something, right, on their offer letter. And so I was like, hey, do you remember what we talked about your compensation being? Instead of it being like, let's say it was, let's instead of it being 50,000, it's going to be like 80,000, right? So I'm throwing out numbers, right? And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm about to make $15. Like, what are you talking about? I look at the number, I look at the resume,
You're like,
and I'm like, oh, damn, no, hey, yeah, no,
oh my
I was just
god.
playing. I was trying to call the HR resource group. I'm sorry, like this wasn't for you. And granted, she took the job. I mean, I was happy it all worked out. But I was like,
Dang.
damn, can you imagine? You were just hype you to find out
Yeah,
you're
you get
working for a new company. You're about to get
hella.
$15. Like you're probably making $10 before. You about to get 15, and then here I am trying to come to you like, hey, you can make 80,000 right now. And you thought I was really talking to you? Like,
Oh
I was
damn.
fucking up. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that was
Damn,
a fuck up.
damn.
Yeah,
That must have been in your
it
in
was
your
horrible. It was horrible. Now
yeah.
I double check numbers.
Yeah,
Like I'll
yeah.
even tell Siri like, hey Siri, call this, and this, right? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, I'm not. I'm not letting myself do that again.
My Siri pulled up right now, trying to see what's going on. All right, we're gonna do a quick speed round.
Okay, let's rock.
All right, so speed round, what that essentially is I'm just gonna ask you quick questions, and I need your response within a second or two.
That makes sense. I
All
can
right.
see how speed round is incorporated into this.
All right. So first question: 1 or 2 pages for your resume?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. AM meetings or PM meetings?
AM.
Remote, hybrid, or in person?
Remote.
Lark, Google Suite, or Microsoft Suite?
Lark.
How many questions should candidates ask at the end of an interview?
As many questions as the job description kind of showcases, if that makes sense. If you're coming in doing like data analyst, right, you don't have to have that many questions because it's like a rudimentary job. But if you're going to be a project manager for a certain department, you need questions. You need to know
Okay.
what the hell you're diving into.
Okay. Would you hire your ex?
Would I hire who?
Your ex.
My ex?
Yeah.
You lost your mind.
All right. What do you like about LA?
I don't.
What do you hate about LA?
Everything.
Tell me about yourself.
I am.
And that's all we have time for.
All right.
Conclusion is, what advice would you give to someone who is thinking about moving from one state to another state or moving careers essentially?
If you're picking up your life, right, and diving into a new state, as well as diving into a new career field or just a department in general, like the company itself, one of the biggest things you want to make sure is that you really do your homework on that company, right? You don't want to be, I can't remember the terminology for it, but you don't want to see that candy on the floor. You pick it up, and now you're in some bullshit, right? Like
I've never heard of that.
it's honey potted. You don't want to be honey potted.
Okay.
That's the terminology,
Honey potted.
right? So what it basically means is like you get the honey pot, right? Now it's just you, and then when you finally consume it all, it's done. You really see everything for what it is, right? So you're seeing the processes, you're seeing the team dynamic, you're seeing the company layout, you're seeing how they really incorporate like PTO, how much of a hassle it is to utilize your PTO, how much they don't really adhere to the whole work-life balance thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So on paper, benefits look great.
Yeah, yeah,
The amount of money being paid looks great, but then now you're seeing repercussions.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
honeypot aspect.
Oh, okay,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So
So you want to make sure that they do your due diligence before you even jump onto the
yeah,
next
definitely.
opportunity.
I would say reach out to people on LinkedIn. If you're going to a company, let's say you're going to TikTok, find people that work in TikTok, several different departments. So you're just not getting like a biased answer. Find people in e-commerce, find people in trust and safety, find people inside of like sales, see how they treat them from top down.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you solidify that. But when it comes to going state to state,
Yeah.
really do your homework. Jesus Christ, do your homework. Figure out where the median is for rent. Figure out what the requirements are to get apartments or what have you. If you want to
Oh,
get a
that's a big
house or
one.
whatever. Oh my god.
That's a big,
Oh my god,
especially if you're moving
bro.
from especially if you're moving from a smaller city to a bigger city.
Right, right. Because a smaller city, you might even know the landlord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you might see him in the bar, you might see him in Kroger's or what have you.
Kroger.
But but you come here, you don't know who the hell you ran from. You need a 700 credit score. You need it like 5
References.
times the amount of rent, right? So you really want to make sure that wherever it is that you're moving to makes sense as far as the dollar amount you're being offered for that position,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, the reason why I wanted to bring Otis on is because when we first kind of started talking, you were telling me like, "Oh yeah, I'm new to LA too."
Mm.
I remember I came into the office and I came in. Was it like July? And nobody was in. That's because we still didn't have our hybrid schedule. It was still kind of remote for everybody. But I was excited to come in because I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I have 2 or 3 coworkers that are in the office." I come in, no one's here, and I'm like, "Okay, well, what's going on?" But then I finally meet Otis and I meet all my other coworkers. They're all dope as fuck. And then me and Otis got to talking about his experience, like leaving Atlanta and coming here. I was like, that's fucking dope. So that's why I wanted to bring you on here and then just have you share that because I feel like there's not a lot of people that are, at least maybe from people that I know that are going to be having that kind of, what's the right word? Willingness to move across the entire country
Right,
for a new
right.
opportunity that you obviously know is going to have its challenges, not only because you don't have like a support group, which is very important, I feel like,
Right.
but also it's a new role in a new city and you're starting from scratch. So yeah, man, appreciate you coming out here.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having
Now
me.
let's go get some drinks and let's get
Absolutely. Because I got to use the
happy hour.
bathroom, boy.